Hey, I want to talk about episode two of Adolescence. I just talked about it. I just posted my reactions on episode one. And most of the people I've been talking to really enjoy episode three. I'm not going to get into that right now. But episode two was by far my favorite. Three was a close second, but episode two, where the police officer, the detective, and his partner went into the schools, and the scene opens up with him actually standing at a memorial and calling his son, who also goes to the same school, as he's investigating this murder. Just telling his son, "Look, I'm here. I'm at your school. Basically, I ain't gonna do nothing to embarrass you. I ain't gonna put you on blast. I ain't gonna say nothing to you." Well, come to find out, his son's being bullied at the school, and obviously well, not obviously, but the dad is clueless about that. So him and his partner go into the school, into classrooms, in interviewing individuals. One girl kind of shuts down on them and ends up jumping on another student who is connected to the murder somehow. And he actually goes into his son's class, and the teacher announces, "Oh, this is," I can't think of the boy's name, but this is his dad, as if the boy didn't need enough attention already. Anyways, this is not going good for the detectives. Actually, while they're there, the fire alarm is pulled, and I used to teach, so it just mm, made me think back to those days. It was just organized chaos, specifically when the fire drill went got pulled, and the female detective, whose name I forget, she actually said to her partner, "Why do all schools smell the same?" I'm not gonna say what she said they smell like, but I was like, they sure do. But anyways, yeah, it just made me really think back to my days of teaching. Anyways, organized chaos. I was like, good Lord, I do not miss that. They were just trying to control the students and keep them calm. The presence of the detectives only, you know, exaggerated all what was already going on. So finally, the detective's son kind of pulls the detective aside, like, look, man, basically, you making yourself look like a fool. You are going around in circles and kind of blundering. You think these two people, the the guy who did the murder and the young girl, you think they friends. They're not friends. She's bullying him, for lack of a better term. And the daddy, like most adults, was just couldn't hear him, partly because he wouldn't stop talking. The boy made a reference to the red pill, and the daddy started talking about Matrix, and the boy was like, it was almost like he was getting frustrated with the daddy because at the end of the day, he just wasn't listening to him. And again, he was just asking all the wrong questions and just clueless. He didn't know his son was being bullied. Don't seem like. He was at a school his son go to. As a matter of fact, when he said to his son, he called his son, he said, "Listen, son." And the boy was like, "Man, you never called me that before." You know, little pause there. And it was just strange, you know, and it just helps me to realize how far off we can be, how much we can miss the mark. And then with social media, so the son started breaking down what different things mean, and the daddy was like, "Well, not really, da, da, da." But it's just, huh? Once he realized that these two people are not friends, it opened up a new world to the dad. That this girl was bullying, antagonizing him. It painted a new picture, you know. And nobody else in that school was probably gonna tell him that. Only his son could, who was already dealing with pressure from his peers and being bullied. So the last thing he needed is any more attention. But he did it at the sake of, I would assume, his relationship with his daddy. Well, he just said, I don't want to keep seeing you you're looking pathetic like this. Hats off to the son for stepping up and doing that. The scene kind of ends with, this episode ends with the detective deciding to talk to one of the suspects again. The boy jumps out a window, takes off running. The detective chases him. They catch him. He admits that it was his knife that was used. And then the dad is like, look, I need to, it looked like it clicked. He goes back to the school. He tells his son, let's go get some chips and a Coke, you know. And it looks like that's not something that often happens. But it looked like the dad had an awakening and started realizing, I don't want my son to be lost in this too. And I don't want to be sitting here investigating murders and end up doing this work on my own son. You know what I'm saying? Just clueless, but starting to capture it, starting to get what's going on, even though he might not agree with it. The whole red pill, blue pill, incels, all this stuff. Yeah. Great episode. I liked it.